what's up, Lash artists? So I'm at home and I know you are too, and I figured it's the perfect time to talk about your menu. I have a lot of great tips and tricks on how I think that you should structure it and present it to your clients. And I also know that this is not going to be the first time you've heard that we have a wonderful opportunity with this quarantine to work on our businesses, whereas we're normally tied down in your business, servicing your clients and just busy lashing. But it's true. It's a time to rethink and restructure if you need to, and think about how you're going to present yourself when you do go back into work. So the first thing that I would recommend after this quarantine, because your clients are probably super bare, just like I am. However, this is not quarantine related. I've just sadly not had lashes for way too long. You're going to want to get them to a full set. So I have two recommendations. I would suggest that you first either take off a certain amount of dollars for your full set in order to help them out, or tack on more time to your services. So whether that's adding 10, 15, 20, 30, however much you want onto each service, you're basically just wanting your clients to know that you appreciate them, you support them, and that you care for their lashes. I know that we've all taken a financial hit with this, so essentially you're in the same boat as your clients. But I think right now it's important to just remind them of how much you care for them and that you appreciate their loyalty to your business. And the way that you make them feel during this time is going to say a lot about you and a lot about your business in general. I also believe in positive energy, especially when it comes to spending money. So I believe that the more you give, especially financially, the more you will get back. You'll see it come back around and you'll see how much your clients appreciate you during this time. All right, so in regards to a menu, my overall biggest thing is that you want to work smarter and not harder. If you've watched my video about my journey in the lash industry, you've seen how there was a time where I was super busy, I had a full clientele, I was making more money than ever, but I was super ran down. And when I moved and started over, I realized I couldn't do that again. I had to rethink things and set myself up in a way to where I was appreciating my clients, I was feeling respected, I was respecting myself, and I wasn't resentful of my craft. So basically what had happened was that I priced my menu according to my environment. Now, that is the exact wrong thing to do in my opinion. I knew that I had more to offer my customers than so-and-so down the street. I knew that my results were better, my client experience was better, and I had the education to back up that price tag that I should have been charging. So anyways, that's a whole topic in itself, but here's what happened. For example, my classic fill took me an hour and it was priced at X amount. Then my mix set and my volume set and fills were priced just a little bit more, but they took me much more time, about an hour and a half for the fills and then 3 hours plus for the full sets. And so when anyone would book a classic set or a classic fill with me, I ended up making more money because it took me less time. But I wasn't stretching my skill set like I wanted to. At that time, I had just gotten into volume, so I really wanted to be doing it more and practicing more. And I wasn't showcasing what I felt like makes you a really great artist, which is volume, because I was so tied down with these cheaper classic sets and fills. So I wanted to be doing them more because they made me more money in the grand scheme of the day, hour by hour, but I, as an artist, wanted to be doing volume more. However, people weren't choosing it because it was more expensive. So it was just this thing where I was like more resentful of one service than another, and I wasn't operating as an artist like I wanted to. So I thought, you know what? I should price myself per hour so that no matter what I do in a day, if I do 10 of these and 2 of these, or I work this amount of hours versus this amount of hours, I'm always making a known amount. I know that when I go to work, I will end up making what I feel I'm worth, and that's because I'm pricing per hour. Now, I'm not saying that you should say, hey, if you book an hour with me, I need to charge you this much, but if you book 2 hours with me, I need to charge you that much. It's not that. I don't want it to be so obvious to your clients that you're charging per hour, because then I feel like it kind of subconsciously makes people want to choose the lesser time frame. I just decided that, like, let's say I'm gonna make $75 an hour, then I would break that down per service. So if the service was a classic fill, it would be, I would do like something like 79 or whatever, just around that 75 price range, so that it wasn't super obvious to them, but I knew that if I'm gonna go to work for 5 hours, I'm gonna make this much. Or if I have 3 mixed fills and 2 classic fills, I'll make this much. It doesn't matter. I am just going to be getting what I know I'm worth. And that was important to me. So that helped me a lot. That really changed my artistry completely. Another thing about your menu is that I really, really highly recommend that you name your services what they are. Okay? Too often I go and see a service menu that says, you know, do you want the super pretty or the glam glam or whatever it is, these cutesy names. And it's really doing a disservice to our industry and to your clients, in my opinion. And here's why. Think about any other industry within the beauty industry. Hairdressers, nail salons. You don't go in and choose the pretty with the mixed glam. You just say, hey, I want a balayage and I want some shadow root up in here. And you know the names of the services because your service provider has educated you on that. Now that's not a foreign thing. It's people know the names of hair services and they know a gel manicure and they know a pedicure, and they're able to ask for exactly what it is that they want, and they know what those things mean. So I highly recommend that as an industry, we start doing that with our clients. Tell them what a volume is versus a classic and name your prices accordingly. So you need to educate them, right? Here's some great ideas about how you can do that. I remember when I first started in a busy salon, I worked in a hair salon, there was a spa upstairs, and I created this little lookbook of my photos of my work. So it was just a great marketing tool, but it also had the description next to it of what was what. Or you can even do chapters, like here's the classic chapter, mixed, and volume. You basically just want to give them a frame of reference so that they can correlate the name of a service with a visual. And also you want to describe what it is. Whether you're having a conversation and you're telling them a classic is one single thicker extension to one natural lash placed directly on top, or you're showing the difference between volume fans, or maybe you create a document to send out after they book their appointment. I'm telling you, I have invested a lot of time and energy into this with my clients, and I know they appreciate it, but also it's so cool when they come to their service and they say, hey, last time we did the 3D volume, and I'm thinking this time it might be cool to go a little fuller. If we can do a 5D and then maybe some classic spikes in there, that'd be awesome. And my heart and my eyes light up because I know I've done my job, I've educated them, and they're gonna get the exact look that they want, if it's doable, right? It's just cool to know that we can educate our clients and we can have our industry be respected in that way, that they know what we do and they know the time, the effort, and the expertise, the knowledge, all of that goes into it. So I highly recommend name your services accordingly. Okay, here's the next thing. After I had learned volume and felt like I had gotten pretty good, I started taking these advanced master courses, and I realized that I really can push my skill set. I can produce something that is so much better than anything that I had put out there before, but it takes way more time. And so if you've ever seen, let's say like a Russian volume set, like a true Russian volume set from Russia, and it's amazing, flawless, most of the time that's a model. Maybe that person even only did one eye and they took many hours to do that one eye. They paid that person maybe, they removed them right after. It's just not necessarily a true portrayal of a client laying down, servicing them. They pop up and they have the most amazing set of lashes ever. So I think it's important to know that, and I think it's important to do that. So I would highly recommend take models, right? It's something that thoroughly changed my game. I would take models now and then to try different things, push my skill set, get great photos, all of the above. And it was awesome, right? I had this really curated Instagram feed and I was showing the best of my work. Also, I relate our social media pages, our website, whatever, your gallery, to the runway in the fashion industry. So many times I've heard people say, oh, who would wear that? That looks ridiculous. Well, the runway is not the designer's ready-to-wear looks. It's to show their creativity, their capabilities, their branding, their design styles, all of these eccentric things that just kind of showcase who they are as an artist and a designer, but they're not something you'd wear on the street. It's just not normal. Nobody would do it. They don't expect you to do it. They actually have a ready-to-wear line that's more for the day-to-day. So I think that our Instagram and our marketing materials should be the same. These amazing photos that you're putting out there should be your runway looks, the best of the best to show off your skill set and to prove what it is that you're capable of. Plus, you're creating this really amazing feed, this really amazing gallery on your website, whatever it is. And so you don't want just photos of your everyday clients on there because they might not have the best lash line there is, or you didn't have enough time, whatever. So it's important to take models. Okay, but here's the problem about taking models. I ran into this issue where my clients were coming in and saying, hey, I saw this picture on your Instagram. They would show me, it was of a model, and I want this look. And I want it in 3 hours because I have a volume full set on the books. And that look took me 4 hours, 5 hours, however long. It took me forever. There's no way I can do it in 3 hours. So I had to rethink things. I want my clients to have the right expectations of what I'm capable of. I want to be valued in what I'm offering and receiving in return as far as payment goes. And I want the time that it takes to produce such a look. So again, I had to rethink things. I added an Instagram-worthy service to my menu. So I had Instagram-worthy full set, fills, etc. And I had a description in my booking app of what that meant. So it would say something like, if you're a client and you've seen photos on my Instagram that you love and you want super full and all of the things, the descriptive words to go with those types of looks, this is the set for you. But have it be known, it's a longer time frame and it's more expensive. And again, I was going with that hourly rate, so I was making as much as I would have made with like a regular full set and a fill, but it was tied into one, a longer service, and it was only for those people that wanted those gnarly looks that I could only produce with a model type of service. Okay, and so I wasn't sure how that would work, right? I didn't know if anyone would book it. It's pretty expensive, but that was my only option. I couldn't keep having these people come in and be let down that I couldn't offer them something that I was advertising. I didn't want to have false advertisement, but I also needed their expectations to be reasonable. And so I just put it on there and I figured, let's just see what happens. Sure enough, people booked it. And it wasn't everybody, but it was the right people. And those clients were all the same that booked my Instagram-worthy sets. They were people that really, really loved that fullness or whatever it is that I was providing in these amazing over-the-top sets. And they also appreciated the time and the effort that it took. Not one of the people that booked those Instagram-worthy sets was someone that was like, hey, I gotta get out of here. Can we make it quick? Can you do it quicker? Or, hey, that's a little bit pricier than I'm looking to spend. Can you work with me? It wasn't. It was people that really valued it, they understood it, and they were super down for it. It was awesome. And so I highly recommend doing that. If anything, even if nobody books it, which I don't think they will, you'll be able to explain better. It goes back to naming your services accordingly. It will just help people to have the right expectations of what you have to offer and what they're gonna get versus what they see. There's nothing worse than coming out of a service, even if it's hair. I don't have the best hair, you guys. I have like 10 hairs on my head. And if I take a picture of someone with this long, amazing, beautiful, full hair, and she's super blonde or whatever, and I walk out with not as blonde of a look and still my 10 hairs, I'm let down. My expectations have to be reasonable in order for me to leave happy. There's nothing worse than a client opening their eyes, looking in the mirror, and you can tell they're just comparing their look to the photo from your Instagram that they brought in. So think about these things. Take the time during this quarantine to revisit your menu. Think about how you want to present yourself to clients and potential clients and how you want to feel while you're running your business. So those are my best tips for your menu. I hope that you guys continue to have a great quarantine, and I look forward to putting out more videos for you guys.